Hello everyone. In the last video, we have talked about the first type of the seed, that is non-endospermic or X-albuminous dicot seed. Okay, this is the first type of seed that we have already discussed. Now in this video, I am going to focus on next type of the seed, that is endospermic dicot seed. It is also called as albuminous dicot seed. Okay, this is the type of a seed in which along with the two cotyledons, endosperm is also present in the seed as a nutritive tissue, and a well-known example of endospermic dicot seed is castor. Another example of this type of seed is coffee or cotton. Now in this video, we are going to talk about the external as well as internal features of the castor seed. Okay, so when we discuss castor seed, we have to remember that it is endospermic, then perispermic, and dicotyledonous seed. So these three terms correctly describe a castor seed. Okay, it is endospermic seed, it is perispermic seed, and it is dicot seed. I'm going to discuss in detail about all these three things in this video. Okay, so castor seed is produced in a fruit which is generally rounded structure with a spines. That means it is a spiny fruit, and we can call this fruit as a regma. So castor seeds are produced in spiny regma type of the fruit. After maturity, this fruit breaks into three chambers and they are called as cocci. Okay, so after maturity, the regma break into three chambers. Okay, and they are called as cocci. Now each cocci have single seed. So total 3 castor seeds are present in single regma, and these castor seeds are generally show two ends. One of the end is broad while other end is narrow. Okay, and when we observe this seed from the side, then you can find two different surfaces. Okay, so this is the side view of the seed. Now one of the side is convex or rounded, it is called as dorsal side, while the other side is flat and it is ventral side. Okay, so remember that castor oil seed is produced in a spiny regma type of the fruit. After maturity, this fruit break into three chambers called cocci. Each chamber carry single seed. Now the seed have two end, broad end and narrow end, and the two surfaces are, one of the surface is rounded or convex, which is dorsal surface, while the other surface of the seed is flat. It is nothing but the ventral surface. Okay, so now if we see both these surfaces of the castor seed, that is dorsal surface and ventral surface, then you can find notable difference in the structures. Okay, so suppose this is the dorsal view of the seed and another is ventral view. So when we observe the castor seed from the dorsal side, it is a rounded convex side, and throughout the surface such patches are present. So the color of the dorsal side is dark brown with shining surface. The seed is rich in lipids and fatty acid. So when we observe the seed from dorsal side, we can observe this type of patches which is dark brown in color, and they show shining appearance. Okay, and when we observe the same seed from the ventral side, which is the flat side, in that case a special white spongy bilobed structure present at narrow end, okay, this end, and this bilobed structure is called as caruncle. Okay, this is the structure which differentiate dicot endospermic seed from all other type of seed, because this caruncle is only present in endospermic dicot seeds. Okay, it is absent in non-endospermic dicot as well as in monocot seed. Okay, now this caruncle is present at narrow end when we observe the seed from the ventral side, and this caruncle is a spongy white bilobed structure. Here you can see two lobes. Okay, and there are two important functions which is carried out by this caruncle. Number one is it absorbs the water at the time of germination of the seed. Okay, we know that seed have to absorb water through micropyle, and generally this narrow end is a micropylar end of the seed, and caruncle is present at narrow end, so it helps in absorption of the water and in germination of the seed. As well as this caruncle is rich in fats and protein, so it is rich in fatty acid and protein. So when insect like ants carry the seed and they feed this caruncle to their larvae, so the caruncle help in dispersal of the seed. Okay, so two important functions carried out by the caruncle. Number one, absorption of water, and number two, dispersion of the seed, because number of insect like ants carry the seed and feed the caruncle to their larvae. Okay, now we know that in every seed 3 points are visible from outside, like micropyle, then hilum and rape. Okay, so this is the ovule, and there are three important points which is present in the ovule. The opening is called micropyle, then hilum is the point where funicle attached with the body. Okay, this is the rounded structure of the ovule which is called body, and now this funicle is stalk. So funicle attached to the body with hilum. I have already discussed about the ovule structure in my previous video, and now remember that in every seed these 3 points, that is micropylar point, hilum and rape, is observed from outside. So when we observe castor seed from ventral side, the micropylar end is generally present inside the caruncle. That means it is embedded in the caruncle, so micropyle is invisible from the ventral side. But above the micropyle, a rounded structure can easily appear, and this rounded structure is nothing but the hilum. Okay, this rounded structure represents hilum of the seed. So this is hilum. And now a straight line produce or appear on the ventral side from the hilum. This straight line is nothing but the rape. Okay, so this is the rape. And now at broad end of the seed, this straight line divide into two lines, and this point is called chalaza. So all these type of structures are visible at ventral side of the seed. Number one, caruncle. Within the caruncle, micropyle is present, and above the caruncle, small rounded hilum can be easily observed. Then from hilum, a straight line appear called rape, which again divide into two, which is called as chalaza. So all these structures are visible from ventral side. So this is all about the external appearance of the castor seed. When we consider internal structure, if we take transverse section of the seed, in that case we can observe number of different things inside the castor seed. So the outer wall of the castor seed is nothing but the seed coat, and this outer wall having two layers. Outer layer of the seed coat is testa, while the inner layer is tegmen. But remember that testa and tegmen in castor seeds are fused. That means they are fused with one another. You cannot easily separate testa and tegmen in castor seed. And both these layers are produced from ovule integuments. Okay, so this is the ovule of angiospermic gynoecium, or ovule is present inside the ovary of the carpel. And now the ovule having two parts, body and stalk. Now the stalk attach body of the ovule to the ovary, and now the body having protective covering called integuments. Generally two integuments are present. This is the outer integument, and the inside the outer integument inner integument layer is present. So two layers are present, and when male gamete fertilized the embryo egg, after fertilization which occur inside the embryo sac, now the ovule get developed into seed, and at the time of development these integuments produce seed coat. Outer integument produce testa, and inner integument produce tegmen. Okay, now interesting thing is that inside the second integument, third layer of the integument is also present in castor ovule, and this third layer is believed to produce caruncle. Okay, so the structure which is present at narrow end of the seed is caruncle, and it is believed that it is produced by third integument, okay, after fertilization of the ovule. So this is the first thing that you can observe in castor seed when we take transverse section of it. Now below the tegmen, another important thing is present, and it is called as perisperm. Okay, so this is the perisperm of the castor seed. Okay, this perisperm is present only in dicot endospermic seed, so castor seed is called as perispermic seed. Okay, so this thing is clear now. Why we call castor seed as a perispermic seed? Because inside the seed coat another layer is present which is called as perisperm, and this perisperm is nothing but the remnant of the nucellus. When this ovule get developed into seed, the embryo at the time of germination consumed major part of the nucellus, but some matter remain as it is, and it is present in the seed in the form of perisperm. So it is nothing but the remnant of the nucellus, remaining material of the nucellus. This is the bulky tissue present in the body of ovule, and it also appear in the seed after development as a perisperm. Okay, the perisperm is rich in lipids and protein, similar to the caruncle. Okay, now inside the perisperm another important thing is present, and it is called as endosperm. So endosperm is a nutritive tissue which is dispersed in the perisperm. So endosperm is a nutritive tissue which is present. So this type of seed is called as endospermic seed. Okay, so this is the second point now. Endosperm is generally present inside the perisperm in castor seed, so it is called as endospermic seed. In last lecture we have discussed non-endospermic dicot seed. In this type of seed, this endosperm is absent. Okay, all the nutritive tissue is present inside the cotyledon in non-endospermic seed. But now in case of endospermic seed, separate storage house of the nutrition is present inside the seed in the form of endosperm. Okay, and now inside the endosperm, important organ of the seed is present. It is nothing but the embryo. Okay, embryo is present in the form of embryonal axis. So this is the embryonal axis, and now the embryonal axis show different parts. I have already discussed about the different parts of the embryonal axis in my last video. The upper point of the embryonal axis is known as plumule. When seed germinate, the plumule produce shoot system. Lower point of the embryo axis is called as radicle. After seed germination, radicle produce root system. And at the center of the embryonal axis, embryonal node is present, and from this node, cotyledons arise. So this is the dicot seed. Castor is endospermic dicot seed. So two cotyledons are present. Okay, so this is cotyledon number 1 and 2. And both these cotyledons are attached to the embryonal node on embryonal axis. And the portion of the embryonal axis in between plumule and embryonal node is called epicotyle. This is epicotyle. Epi means above. And the portion which is present in between the embryonal node and radicle is called hypocotyle. So the embryonal axis show 5 important regions. Number 1, plumule. Number 2, epicotyle. Number 3, embryonal node, the point where cotyledons are attached. Then hypo or below cotyle, and then radicle. So all these points can be easily observed on the embryonal axis. And now the two cotyledons are present attached to the embryonal axis. In this case, cotyledons do not generally carry nutritive tissue inside them. So they are thin and papery. Okay, in case of non-endospermic seed, cotyledons are thick and fleshy. But in case of endospermic seed, as endosperm is present as a nutritive tissue, cotyledon get reduced and they become thin and papery. In castor seed, two cotyledons are present, so it is called as dicotyledonous seed. So all these three things are clear now. Endosperm is present, so endospermic seed. Perisperm is present, so it is called as perispermic seed. And two cotyledons are present inside the seed, so it is called as dicotyledonous seed. So this is all about the dicot endospermic seed. Example is castor. So in this video we have discussed about the rhegma, then broad and narrow end of the seed, dorsal and ventral side of the seed, and finally we talk about the internal structure of the seed. And in this section we have discussed about the seed coat, perisperm, endosperm, embryonal axis, and two cotyledons present in this type of seed. So this is all about the dicot endospermic seed. In my next video, I am going to talk about the non-endospermic monocot seed. Thank you.